تعالى وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Lord of the world, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the beneficent, the most gracious, Maliki Yawmiddin, owner of the day of recompense, Al-Qa'il, the order that says, Wa aqimus salata wa atuz zakata, establish salat and at the same time pay zakat. وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ. Whatever you send forth for your soul, for your akhirah, for your life after, you will all surely find it with Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. And of course, Allah sees everything you do. Salatu wassalam ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon our leader, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Qa'il, the Prophet says, Buniya al-Islam ala khamsi. Islam, right from the onset, has been built on 5 different things. Shahadatu an la ilaha illallah, testification and to bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship other than Allah. Wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, and verily that Prophet Muhammad remained the messenger of Allah. Wa iqamus salat, to establish salat. Wa ita'uz zakat, and to pay alms, to pay zakat. Wal hajj, and to observe hajj. Wa sawm Ramadan, and fasting in the month of Ramadan. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, I bear witness to the oneness of Allah without a partner. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. In the same degree, I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad remain a great servant and a great messenger of Allah. Ya Rab, salli wa sallim alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. O Allah, confer and prefer the blessings upon the said Prophet and messenger of Allah, extend it to his household, his companion. Salatan tujib lana ridaka, amin. A kind of perfection of blessings and favors that will make your pleasure compulsory upon us. Ibadallah al-akhyar, honorable servant of Allah, al-ikhwan wal-akhwat, brothers and sisters in Islamic monotheism, تركز خطبتنا اليوم على الزكاة وأحكامها في الإسلام. Today, inshallah, our topic of discussion on this minbar will deal with zakat. Zakat and its rulings in Islamic monotheism. Allah Ta'ala, Allah the Most High says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. This is in Surah An-Nur, verse 56. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it is an order, it is a commandment. You have no option other than to obey Him, Allah. It says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, establish salat. وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, pay zakat. وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ, and obey the messenger. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ, so that all of you can have mercy of Allah at the end of the day. Ibadallah, ma hiya zakat? What is zakat that we are talking about? Ta'rif zakat, tu'rafu zakat fi al-lugha. The first thing we want to look at is the literal meaning of zakat. Here, an-numuwu wa ziyada. An-numuwu, growth, was ziyada, an increase. Even without getting to the technicalities of the meanings of zakat, the literal meaning is enough for us to be convinced. Even it literally, zakat literally means an-numuwu wa ziyada, growth and development, increase in anything. For you call zaka shay'un. They say something gets developed, it gets increased every now and then. Is nama wazada, it means it increases every now and then. وَقَدْ تُطْلَقُ بِمَعْنَى الطَّهَارَةِ. Zakat also means purity. Zakat, it means purity. كما في قوله تعالى, as it was embedded in the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that says in Surah Ash-Shams, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Whoever tried to develop its soul, whoever tried to get the soul develop and increase spiritually, has really succeeded. I mean, man tahara min ad-dunub wal adnas. Whoever tried to purify his soul from dirty things and from sins. وسميت الزكاة بهذا الاسم لأنها تطهر صاحبها. Zakat has been given this name, the name Zakat. It has been given this name because it purifies whoever comes up with it. When you pay Zakat, you are purified from all impurities. وَتَكِيهِ مِنَ الْآفَاتِ لِقَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى. And zakat will also protect you from all forms of evils. And in line with the Quranic injunctions that says in Surah At-Tawbah, قال تعالى, as an order, as a commandment to his messenger, to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah said to him, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها وصل عليهم إن صلاتك سكن لهم. صدق الله العظيم. It's an order. خذ فعل أمر. خذ من أموالهم, and of their wealth, of their goods, of their belongings, of their possessions. Take away from it alms. Take zakat from their property, from their wealth, to tahiruhum, to purify them, wa tuzakkihim, and to sanctify them. To purify them, the reason why you have to take zakat from their wealth is to purify them, wa tuzakkihim, to sanctify them biha, with that zakat. Wa salli alayhim, O Muhammad. After then, when you have taken their zakat from their wealth, salli alayhim, pray for them, seek for forgiveness, ask me to forgive them of their sins, pray for them. Inna salataka sakanun lahum. And of course, your prayer is not like their own prayers. We cannot liken your prayer with their own prayer or supplication. For inna salataka sakanun lahum. Your prayer remains a security for them. Your prayer will bring about mercy of Allah for them. Sakanun lahum, we give them confidence and rest of mind. If you pay zakat, you are protected from all forms of evils. That is what the ayah connotes. Wa fil mafhum al-shar'i, and in the technicalities of Islamic Sharia, lizakat fahiya, what zakat then means Islamically, based on the law and Sharia of Islam, haqqun muhaddid yajibu fi amwali makhsusa. It's a particular portion, muhaddid, that has an amount. It has measures of a particular portion of their wealth that is compulsory. وَلَا شُرُوطٌ بِشُرُوطٍ مَخْصُوصًا, with certain rules and regulations. That is why this is different from the common sadaqah. This is different from the common sadaqah. Zakat has a particular percentage. That is what it's trying to explain. Yani haqqun muhaddad. It is a compulsory percentage from their wealth. Bishurutin makhsusin, with certain rules and regulations. لأصناف مخصوصة في أوقات مخصوصة, for certain category of people with a stipulated time. That is zakat. Sadaqah has no these aforementioned rules. Zakat has all these rules. وبعبارة أخرى, in other words, هي صدقة, it's a sadaqah يلزم بها الله سبحانه وتعالى المسلمين بدفعها من أموالهم ومملكاتهم سنويا. It is a compulsory portion of all Muslims from Allah the Most High for them to take it out to pay it from their wealth ومملكاتهم and their belongings. Sanawiya, on an annual basis. Zakat is observed on an annual basis. ويتم دفعها للفقراء والضعفاء والمستحقين تقربا لله. And who do you submit the zakat to? When you get it from them, you submit it, you distribute it to al-fuqara, the needy, wal-masakin, the poor, wal-du'afa, the vulnerables, al-du'afa. These are the beneficiaries. We'll get to that possibly in the next segment or edition of this discussion. Wal-du'afa, the vulnerables, al-mustahikina, taqarruban billah, those who are due for it as an act of ibadah before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hukm zakat, the rulings on zakat. Hukm zakat, the rulings on this concept of zakat. تعد الزكاة الركن الثالث من أركان الإسلام بعد الشهادتين والصلاة وثبت وجوبها في الكتاب والسنة والإجماع. Zakat is regarded and respected and positioned as the third pillar of Islam. Min arkan al-Islam. The third pillar of Islam after these two testifications. What is the two testifications? Is the shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah wa salatu. Then you observe salat. وَثَبَتَ وُجُوبُهَا فِي الْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ وَالْإِجْمَاعِ. And it's compulsory. Its obligation, being an obligatory act of ibadah, is covered by Al-Quran, by Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and consensus of ulama. Nobody can say no to zakat. Whoever says no to zakat ceases from being a Muslim and is liable to death. Whoever says no to zakat. فَمِنَ الْقُرْآنِ قَوْلُ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. And in the whole Quran is the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ فِي كَثِيرٍ مِنْ أَيِّ الذِّكْرِ الْحَكِيمِ. There's barely no chapter of the whole Quran. Most chapters of the Holy Quran, you find it there where Allah mentioned payment of zakat, giving zakat, bringing out a portion of your earnings for zakat. وَأَمَّا مِنْ السُنَّةِ قَوْلُ النَّبِيِّ صلى الله عليه وسلم لمعاذ بن جبل لما بعثه إلى اليمن. And as part of the discussions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he was sending Jabal, Al-Mu'az bin Jabal ila al-Yaman. You know Yemen. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sending Mu'az bin Jabal to Yemen, he said this to him: Id'uhum ila shahadati an la ilaha illallah, ya Mu'az bin Jabal. Call them. Your assignment in Yemen, when you get to Yemen, your assignment there is to call them to the testification, to bear witness that there's no deity worthy of worship other than who? Allah. Wa anni Rasulullah. And that I, Muhammad, remain a messenger of Allah. I'm the messenger of Allah. فَإِنْهُمْ أَطَاعُوا لِذَلِكَ. If they obey that, they agree with that, they adhere to this, فَعَلِمُهُمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ افترض عَلَيْهِمْ خَمْسُ الصَّلَوَاتِ فِي كُلِّ يَوْمٍ وَلَيْلَةٍ. The second thing you need to take them through, to teach them, to call their attention upon, is that Allah has made compulsory upon them 5 daily prayers day and night. 5 daily prayers day and night. وَإِنْهُمْ أَطَاعُوا. If they obey you on this and adhere to it and demonstrate their total adherence to it, لذلك وعلمهم أن الله افترض عليه صدقة تؤخذ من أغنيائهم وترد على فقرائهم. Also teach them, take them through payment of zakat that is taken from their well-to-do, from their bigwigs, from their wealthy ones, those who are in position. From their wealthy ones will take this from their wealthy one to the needy. That is what zakat is meant for. Sahih al-Bukhari. وأما الإجماع فقد اتفق إجماع المسلمين في جميع العصور على وجوب الزكاة استوفرت شروطها وأيضا إجماع الصحابة الكرام على قتال مانعها. It has been a principle of Islam agreed by all time. There's no particular period of Islam, Asr al-Islam, that any particular caliph or an Islamic leader criticized zakat. No leader has ever criticized zakat. All Muslims in Islamic monotism have all agreed that zakat is a pillar of Islam and it must be paid. And they say zakat is payable when able. Zakat is payable when able. Everyone agree with this right from the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. And it was also agreed upon that whoever says no to zakat be killed. Whoever says no to zakat should be killed. It is understandable that Muslims believe that everything belongs to Allah. Islam has taught us that we have nothing. Nothing belongs to us other than Allah. And for us to all live a good life, we have to spread the word of Allah to other Muslims, to other needies, to other vulnerables, so that life can be meaningful to all. It's part of the purpose of zakat. How zakat becomes payable for the Muslim. Inna tashri' az-zakat al-adida min al-hikam minha ma yati. One of it, reason why zakat must be paid. Number one, al-uluwu bil-ihsan an al-mal bi-idh la yakuna 'abdan lahu. It is required of every Muslim to be above the wealth, not wealth coming above you. That is the one of the wisdom of why you have to pay zakat. That means you control money, not that money will control you. Al-uluwu bil-ihsan anil mal. Be on top of the money, not money coming on top of you. Whoever controls money will enjoy himself, enjoy the work, enjoy Allah, the provider. But if money controls you, there will be a problem. So that you don't become a servant of money. Let money be your servant, not you becoming servant to the wealth. طهر نفسه وتزكيها. When you do this, you are going to purify yourself and sanctify yourself. The second purpose is al-barakatu fil mal wa ziyadat fil iman. When you pay zakat, what we want you to get there is that you get more blessings from Allah. Your wealth becomes more blessed, and it will also make you to be a fulfilled, faithful Muslim. That means your faith will remain intact. حيث أن الإنسان ينفق من أحب الأشياء إليه وهو المال. That man, a Muslim, will spend from what he loves most. وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. Nothing we love like money. So we are asking you to spend from what you love most. And what you love most remains money. تقوية العلاقة بين الغني والفقير بحيث تصد الزكاة حاجات الفقراء وتمنع الجرائم كالسرقات. We want to strengthen relationship between the rich and the poor. We want a kind of synergy. Zakat will serve as a synergy. It will synergize between the rich and the poor, so that when the rich cry, the poor will support him, because the rich also cry. The rich also cry. When a rich man cries and he has been doing good, sharing from his wealth with a poor man beside him, around him, he will also find him or her very useful at that point when the rich cries. To synergize, to strengthen the relationship between the rich and the poor. إقامة مصالح المجتمع العامة. You know why? There's a point there I omitted, and I'm going to say it again. If you say somebody is a close friend to me, but he steals my money, each time I keep money somewhere, he will go and steal from it. It's not trustworthy. We have to ask you, have you supported the act of theft in him? Because somebody is a friend of a millionaire or a billionaire. You move about, you do things about, he look tattered every now and then, look very dirty, look very rough. And he's going home, you give him 2,000 naira. And his present, you spend 20 million naira that same day. When you give him zakat, zakat is not like common sadaqah. To improve his financial life. You can't continue to feed somebody. You can't continue to give him fish. Zakat is meant to teach somebody how to fish, not to give him the fish. If you are giving him fish, that is common sadaqah. But zakat is for him to be able to fish on his own. That is what that means. إقامة مصالح المجتمع العامة وتحقيق الحياة السعيدة للأمة. To have a reasonable, well-respected, guided, and a kind of community that will remain in order. If you want orderliness in a community, you want people to be law-abiding, there is need for economic sustainability. Economic sustainability. People cannot, there's no sustenance. A hungry man remains an angry man. Go and find out most people that steal. Find out what led them into stealing. Not that all of them actually wanted to steal. Because when hunger stays and lasts in a man, he misbehaves. He misbehaves. You keep money, he's a friend, he sees money with you in your office. This is how you set dollars, pound sterling, naira, Dutchies, and what have you, real. And he comes to your office every now and then. When he's going back home, you give him 2,000 naira. Shaitan will tell him, you are also a human being, you have right in that money. Find a way to where the money is kept. It is against the teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you are not interested in giving somebody something, make sure you hide it from him. Do not allow him to see it, so that you don't oppress him with what you have. If you know you are not going to give him from what you have, do not allow him what? To see it. How can somebody be very hungry? What happened? So hungry, honestly. And I have nothing on me. Honestly, so hungry. And somebody now bring you pounded yam with vegetable and fish. You sit down beside him and finish everything. You stab it down with juice. And you say, okay, all right, no problem. See you later. You are a bad person. You are heartless. You are not a good follower of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. In fact, Allah is not happy with you. It's either you go and hide somewhere if you are so stupid, so stingy, so irresponsible, so callous. You can hide yourself somewhere, Mr. Millionaire, and go and finish your food. Rather than sitting beside him, eating your food comfortably. And say, you finish everything. He said, okay, bye-bye. Even Allah will not tell you bye-bye. It's against Islam. You are encouraging him to think otherwise. Sorry to say this. I don't encourage it, but we have to say it. Before your friends plan for you to be kidnapped, how do you behave to them? How? What is your relationship with them in terms of financial support? You have 10 groups of friends. You are a multi-millionaire. For good 10 years, none of them can boast of getting common 200,000 naira from you, and you're a multi-millionaire. You do everything. You even send your friends here and there. They turn to your errand boys. They are bringing one new car for me from Lagos today. Go and meet the driver at Gogolada and bring the car here. I'm building a house there, go and supervise there. I'm doing this. You are making use of them, not extending your hands of gesture to them. Let them have a taste of what Allah has provided you, what Allah has blessed you with. Shaitan will knock on their door and say, oh boy, you are not stupid. Don't you think you can go this way and get your own right from the wealth? That is why Islam says, pay zakat and pay sadaqah. Be nice, be generous to everyone around you to chase away shaitan from their hearts. You can't live alone, enjoy alone, and refuse to die alone. You will die alone. Sometimes it is your gate man that save your life, that will save you. Your common gate man will save. If you are nice to your gate man, he will be ready to die for you. Your housemaid can be ready to die for you. If someone comes around and say, Rebecca, of course, I want you to put this in August food, and I will give you 50,000 naira. If you have ever dashed Rebecca 100,000 naira, he's likely not to take that. But when you treat her like riffraff, like animal, it is against the teaching of Islam. These are some of the purposes of zakat. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Alhamdulillahi al-qa'il wa ma umiru illa liya'budu Allah mukhlisina wa yutu zakata wa dhalika dinul qayyima. Praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that says, and they have not been ordered to do anything other than to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with every sense of sincerity. Hunafa, with holy, wa yuqimu salata, and they establish salat, wa yutu zakata, and they pay zakat, wa dhalika dinul qayyima. Of course, that is the straight way to al-Jannah. Wa usalli wa sallim ala sayyidina Maulana Muhammad. I seek Allah's favors and mercies upon our leader, our Lord, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu al-Qa'il, lillahi sa'alahu an amalin yudkhiluhu al-Jannah. The one that says to someone who asks him of actions, the deeds that can take him into al-Jannah, that can fetch him automatic admission into Jannah. And he said, Ta'budullah wa la tushriku bihi shay'an. If you want to gain admission into paradise, then worship Allah. Do not associate anything with him. Wa tuqimu salah. You establish salat al-maktuba, especially the compulsory one. Wa tu'addi zakat. And for you to pay zakat, you have to pay zakat. You want to enter paradise. You want to be admitted automatically into paradise. You worship Allah. Do not associate anything with him. And you have to observe salat al-maktuba, not during Ramadan alone. Anybody that wants to gain admission to paradise, your salat is not only during Ramadan. You will not see somebody praying or observing JUMA'AT except during Ramadan. His own God is always active during Ramadan. After Ramadan, he becomes passive God. To him, what do the zakat, and you pay zakat, al-mafrudo, that is compulsory, what asum Ramadan. Then you fast in the month of Ramadan. Ashhadu an la ilaha illahu wahdahu la sharika lah. I bear witness in this same Allah, the one and only without the partner. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. In the same degree, I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad, be made the messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfect his message upon him. Ahamiyyatu zakat, the importance of zakat. Ibadallah, جمع القرآن بين الزكاة والصلاة في 82 موضعا مما يدل على عظيم مكانة الزكاة. For your information, in the Quran, Allah has always mentioned salat and zakat side by side. Every now and then in the whole Quran, up to 82 places in the whole Quran. Wherever Allah mentioned waqimu salata wa atu zakata, establish salat, he will always follow it up with what? Zakat. That means if Allah must accept your salat, you must pay what? Zakat. And I said, zakat is payable when able. Zakat is not for everyone, but sadaqah is for all. Zakat is for specific class of people. Why sadaqah is for us? Is for all. I said it here some years back. Even as a destitute, you take alms. Sadaqah. You that take sadaqah should also give what? Sadaqah. That is Islam. Today, all these kind of destitutes are building houses from collection of sadaqah. And it's un-Islamic. It is un-Islamic to be taking sadaqah to build house, to buy a car. And sadaqah fi sabilillah. Abani sabo de manzo Allah. Abani sabo de manzo. And you continue. Some beggars are known for 15 years on the road collecting sadaqah. When you ask them, Allah ya riga ya bani, ina da gida a kauye na, ina da mota guda uku, ina da akuma. You are a destitute is un-Islamic. You can't be begging to survive. You cannot continuously beg to survive. It's un-Islamic. If you beg to some point, you cease from begging, establish yourself with business, and continue. Let others who are sincerely in need be giving. Let them be giving. There's nothing like Serikin Miyake Kirasu. For what? What's Seriki for? Seriki Al-Majiri for what? Why would you be Seriki Al-Majiri? It's un-Islamic. Somebody who will be collecting sadaqah, you are their Seriki. That means your Seriki must have 5 houses, 3 cars for commercial. It's un-Islamic. The Prophet says, La shay'un amarru min as-su'al. Nothing is as bitter as begging. So bitter. He says, Yadul uliya. That's why we are encouraging you to pay zakat. Yadul uliya khairu min yadis sufla. The upper hand is far better than lower hand. The upper hand is the giver. The lower hand is the receiver. Why would you receive at all time and you cannot give? The more you receive, the more you give. To whom much is given, much is expected, and givers never lack. Givers never lack. You can't continue to beg. Some people are collecting zakat every year. This year you come for zakat. The following year you come for zakat. No, allow others who are sincere, who are seriously in need to take what? Zakat. That is what Islam says. So there's nowhere you will not see where Allah continuously mention establishment of zakat without joining it with zakat. وَقَوْلُوا تَعَالَى وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Do good to people, observe salat, and pay zakat. وفي سنة روي البيهقي في سنن الكبرى حديث عن أبي هريرة قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من أتاه الله مالا فلم يؤد زكاته مثل له يوم القيامة شجاعا أقرع له زبيتان يطوقه يوم القيامة ثم يأخذ بلهزمتيه يعني شدقيه ثم يقول أنا مالك أنا كنزك ثم تلا هذه الآية الذين يبخلون بما آتاهم الله من فضله وخير لهم بل وشر لهم سيطوقون ما بخلوا به يوم القيامة. صدق الرسول الكريم. The summary of this hadith is someone Allah has blessed with a lot of money, a wealthy man, a multi-millionaire, a billionaire who refuses to pay zakat from his wealth. What happened to him? On the day of Qiyamah, Allah will present to him, muthila lahu. Allah will present before him, to him, what? A bald, B-A-L-D, bald-headed, poisonous male snake. His wealth will be turned to a bald-headed, poisonous male snake, full of poisons. And this snake will circle itself around his neck and start biting him with his two glands. This snake will continue to bite him with around his neck. And this person will be shouting. Say, the snake will say, keep quiet. I am your wealth when you are alive. I am your treasure when you are alive. You have refused to give out what other people deserve from me. Today I will continue to bite you. Shurut wujub zakat, the rules that guides zakat, that makes it obligatory. Number one, al-hurriya, for zakat tajib ala tajib ala al-abd. You must be a free man to pay zakat. A free one, a free man. A slave cannot pay zakat. A prisoner cannot pay zakat. Victim of kidnap cannot pay zakat. Waliyazu billah. If somebody is kidnapped, maybe for a whole year, and you are now calling him, Alaji, sorry, may Allah release you, but it is time for zakat. At that point, he ceases to be a free man. He cannot pay zakat until he is released. For if the reason being that a slave cannot pay zakat, and there's an hadith here that says, وَمَنْ ابْتَاعَ عَبْدًا فَمَالُهُ لِلَّهِ بَاعَهُ إِلَّا أَنْ يُشْتَرَطُ الْمُبْتَاعَ. Sahih al-Bukhari. If you buy a slave in those days, we don't really need this anyway. You buy a slave in those days, the Prophet says, all the belongings of a slave you are buying belongs to the seller, not you. That's why a slave cannot pay zakat, or a prisoner. The Prophet says, except if the buyer puts that condition that I'm going to buy this slave along with everything that belongs to him, then whatever the slave possesses belongs to the buyer. Number two, al-Islam. Before you can pay zakat, you must be a Muslim. You must be a Muslim. You cannot collect zakat from a kafir when you have 1,000,001 wealthy people. The who is who, the big wigs among you. You don't go and meet a Christian, Mr. Jacob, because he's a multi-millionaire. How are you? Do you know what we do in Islam? As an imam, we are to say that you are a thief. Corrupt imam. How can you ask Mr. Jacob, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Neka, because he has 100 shops. Pay zakat now. If you want to beg for money, beg for money. But for you to ask somebody to pay zakat, no. But there's one thing that remains Imam's right. But today, we find it difficult to, to exercise. I, as your Imam here, have right, if I know how rich you are, if I know your financial position, to say, Alaji, how far about this year's zakat? It's not compulsory you give it to me to share, but I say, Alhamdulillah, I have done so. Alhamdulillah, but I have the right to ask you, because it was an order from Allah the Most High to the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Khudh min amwalihim sadaqatan. Call them and ask them, Alhaji so and so, what about your zakat this year? Not the Imam that will be giving zakat and pocket it. Alhamdulillah. You will do one alhamdulillah when Allah seizes you. It doesn't concern Allah. That is the second condition. Al-aql wal-bulugh. The person that will pay zakat must not be a child and must be sane. Someone who has his sanity intact. If someone becomes a psychiatric patient, if he's a billionaire, don't ask for his zakat for Allah's sake. How about Allah? There are different opinions from different schools of thought of whether a child or a psychiatric patient can pay zakat, but most of them agree that they can pay zakat. Yes. And we'll go with that. They can pay zakat. The custodian of the little boy's wealth or property will pay zakat from his property. Whoever is taking care of the possessions and properties of a lunatic, A'udhu Billah, may God forbid, a psychiatric patient will pay zakat on his behalf. That is to tell you how serious Allah is when it comes to zakat. Those are some of the reasons why Bulughun Nisab, there is a particular amount of money. It is written on that book. What? 2,199,840 naira. If you have less than this, if you have less than 2 million naira, because the life of naira don't finish. Oti bàjẹ́ fún naira kọjá normal báyìí. That means if you don't have up to 2 million, approximately 200,000, you cannot pay zakat. Look at it. That is it differs, it changes because of the devaluation of naira. Devaluation of naira. By next year, may Allah forbid, who knows? Maybe it will be close to 3 million. It has to reach that nisab. Nisab. It has to reach the nisab. It's part of the condition. Then, al-hawlun al-kamilun. It must reach a whole year before you can pay zakat. It must reach a whole year before you can pay zakat. Now, lastly, well, the discussion of zakat will continue next week. I do not need to continue for now. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us aright. He wants security from Allah to protect you against the insurgency, the Boko Haram, the kidnapping, the kidnappers, the bandits, and the rest of them. Pay zakat, because the Imam is expected and required to pray for you after the payment of zakat. And that prayer will serve as your security, and Allah will continue to protect you. Inna Allah ya'muru bil ihsan wa ita'i zil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkari wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. This singular ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spelled out 3 of his do's and 3 of his don'ts. We are very confident with it. Whatever Allah says yes to, say yes to it. Whatever he says no to, say capital no to it. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.
يا رمضان حنا صوامك يا رمضان